for you no matter what. I have hydration nearby. It is Monday motivation. And I love today's topic of what are you under pressure? Are you under pressure? Yes or no? We're always under pressure. And like Rachel had mentioned, that I've been through a lot. This has been a season for me, right? And so a lot of times, one of the things that comes up is when we're under pressure. Sometimes we want to shrink. Sometimes we want to quit. And I'll tell you, this last week, I kind of went under a little bit. I kind of fell off a little bit. And I noticed myself pulling back. I noticed myself shrinking. And sometimes that happens if you're going or growing through a very difficult season, like I am right now, or the pressure just feels like it's too much. And as a holistic wellness coach, I love to help people harness their holistic health, take care of their mental and their physical well-being, to be able to navigate the stressors and pressures of life. And I do that in a very healthy, easy, digestible way. And so if you're listening to my voice and you're new to my world, I'm Crystal Laura Cruz with Cruz Beyond Limits. And I love to help people get fit, feel fabulous, and enjoy the stressors and pressures of life. And I always say there's always a lesson and a blessing. All right. So I decided to shorten blessings. It's lessons and blessings. Oh my. Because what happens is when you start to lean into that discomfort and you lean into the pressure, how are diamonds made? Under pressure, right? If you stay true and you just keep going no matter what, you're going to shine. Something is going to shine through. And I was on my morning walk this morning, and I love going into this park. It's right next to a cemetery, and between a cemetery and a skate park and a skateboarding park. And it seemed when I first moved here, I lived in Puerto Rico, by the way, right on the beach, right next to the airport. So if you're ever in Puerto Rico, let me know. But when I first moved here, this seemed like kind of a little sketchy area, but I had to stop to use the restroom. So I was like, okay, I got to go no matter what. So I go in there, and I kept taking this path. And this path, it was like a dirt path. And then there was like actually a noose hanging from one of the branches. That was pretty creepy. But I'm like, okay, I got to dip in here. Got to go. When you got to go, you got to go. It's a no matter what mentality. So I'm going through this path, and it's like the sun is just about to come. It's a little bit hazy. And I hear the roosters, goo, 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 goo. And I'm like, what's going to happen to me? And I go down this dirt path. There's a noose hanging. Then I see there's a painting, a beautiful painting. And here in Puerto Rico, there's so much art and so much culture and character. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep going. And then I had no idea what was going to be at the end. And so I just kept going into this path, and it was a one-way dirt path. And it kind of seemed a little bit scary, but I'm like, I'm just going to follow this path. And I just kept going, and I kept seeing one more artwork and one more thing. And as the sun was creeping up, I kind of go down to this path, and it opens up. I reached this cliff. Mark's Black, and I don't know if you're still here, but he loves a good cliff. So if you're on the cliff or the edge of your seat right now, like, what is she about to go into and what's going to happen to her? Guess what? I think about that every single time I go down that path. And I went there this morning, and it doesn't get easier, but I get stronger every time. I'm like, I'm made for more. I'm ready. I want to see what's at the end of this path. I want to see what's at the end of this tunnel. And I go and I run to it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. It opens up. There's beautiful palm trees. There's waves crashing. The sun is just coming up over the horizon. If you're not following me on social media, I take a picture of this. I actually posted in my stories this morning. But it's so beautiful. And it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much anxiety and pressure that I have to go through, especially as a woman running alone in the dark in a place that I don't know. It's scary. And for those of you who don't know, I'm a marathon runner. And every single time I leave my house to run, it's like I'm going on the battlefield. And I'm under pressure. I put my body under pressure. I put my mental and my physical well-being under pressure. And yes, it's scary. And yes, it's uncomfortable. And yes, I go to places and spaces that probably aren't the safest or aren't the best, right? But I'm very mindful. But I also do it to constantly challenge myself and put myself in uncomfortable situations, to put myself under pressure, to prove to myself that I have what it takes to continue to endure and keep going no matter what. And I always say, this is the no in my community, it's the no matter what club. And we keep going and we keep moving and we keep leaning in like our life depends on it, because it does. And you never know what's at the end of that tunnel. Now it's going to open up. And I had a conversation this morning with Marcus, and we were talking about hitting the bag, because I teach kickboxing too. And he's going to this gym and he's hitting it hard, seeing and feeling those results. And so when you're under pressure, you got to keep punching. You got to stay on the offense. And you got to keep hitting the bag every single day. And yes, it's uncomfortable. And yes, maybe your knuckles hurt, and maybe you're clenching, and maybe you're clenching your jaw. And maybe you're exhausted and you don't want to take another punch. And maybe it feels like you can't take another punch. There's someone that's very near and dear to my life right now that is taking some punches physically. I know I'm taking them mentally and emotionally, but I sure as heck am not, and going to keep standing up and keep going no matter what. When it's like the last round and I can't take any more punches, I'm still going to get up again. Just like Rocky, he keeps getting back up again every single time. And sometimes it feels like 1-2 punch, 1-2 punch, 1-2 punch. Guess what? Those are your lessons and blessings. So we got to keep getting back up. So today I want to share with you 3 tips that really, really work. This is part of my freedom formula for holistic wellness. For those of you who are not a part of my Cruise Beyond Limits Health is Wealth community, it's an incredible supportive community where we're all navigating the lessons, the blessings, and the pressures of life. And we're all navigating this. And we're all busy. And we're all feeling like we're being tugged in 12 different directions. Or 20. I have literally like 40 tabs open. YouTube's playing in the background. It's hard. And a lot of people are competing for our time. But you get to put yourself and your health first for 34 minutes a day. So 3 tips here today. First of all, I want you to be able to set yourself up for success and start your week off with intentions. If you don't start your day and your week off with intentions, goal setting, gratitude, starting yourself out on the offense, then everyone else's priorities and everyone else's things are gonna tug at you. And so that's why a lot of people that I start to work with, they're like, I'm not a morning person. I'm not a morning worker outer. I love that term, by the way. And that's like music to my ears, because I'm like, okay, well, what can we do with what we've got? And I know that it's going to feel a little uncomfortable, but if you know that life is going to get thrown at you for the rest of the day, then you have to start your day with the right intention, with a clear goal in mind. So I need you to set out your time for your meals, your movement, and your mindfulness. So I love a play on words. So I have the 5 C's in the freedom formula. I have the 4 F's in my values. And then my non-negotiables are meals, movement, and mindfulness. And motivation. Hello. So this is your Monday motivation. So this is your litmus test, your reset. Draw a line in the sand. And I get to say that now because I live on the beach in Puerto Rico. And I designed it that way with intention every single day. I wrote down in my planner for the last 7 years. I started my business in November of 2017. I started an online business, and I moved 5 times in 7 years. And my bags have been always packed, and I have not spent more than 3 weeks. I'm going to say that again. I have not spent more than 3 weeks in one place without packing my bags and being on another airplane, without being in a drive-through, without being on a throughway in cars, without being on an airplane and in airports 24/7. And hotel rooms. In order for me to stay healthy, to stay strong, to endure the life stressors and pressures and all the moves and all the challenges that have come my way, I have had to have my non-negotiables of my meals, my movement, and my mindfulness. It is so important. And if you don't set that, if you don't set yourself up for success each week, each morning, then we're going to be reactive. We're going to be stressed. We're going to be high anxiety. We're going to feel depressed. We're going to feel depleted. And so the 34-minute mindset in the Crispy Unlimiteds world is 2 minutes of gratitude, goal setting, and intentions every single morning. So if you set clear goals and intentions and then you act on them, holy moly, imagine the motivation that comes through and the excitement, because the work works when you do the work, and the brain keeps track of the times that you show up for yourself and your health. And the brain goes, where's my bell? Ding, ding. There they are doing it again. There she is working out again. There she is not hitting the snooze button. There she is hitting the bag again. There he is going after it again. So 2 minutes of goal setting, gratitude, intention. Set yourself up for success, to be mindful and present in your day. And then we have to plan out our 30 minutes of movement. In the Crispy Unlimiteds world, we do 30 minutes, including warm up and cool down. No equipment, no excuses, because excuses don't burn calories. So you have to decide, how bad do you want it? Summer's coming, my friends. All right. So unless you want to wear a sweatsuit and wear black all the time and not be in pictures, you got to put in the work. You got to hit the bag. You got to put yourself under pressure. You got to get more comfortable being uncomfortable. And start today. Don't delay. Today is Monday. Great day. New week, new month. Great time to start. So if you didn't get your workout in this morning, I highly recommend. As soon as we're done here, as soon as I close this room, I want you to move your body 30 minutes every single day, no matter what. So plan out your meals, plan out your movement, and then also plan out your mindfulness. So that might mean meditation. Figure out what it's going to take to make sure that you're set up for success. What is your morning routine like? And how can you implement some self-care and mindfulness practices into your day? I'll tell you, just before I went live, before I came on here, I slept for 12 minutes. So I went for a run this morning. I put myself through pressure. I was exhausted. I trying to find a bush, couldn't find one. I had to find, that's TMI. Anyways, I ended up getting home just in time to go live to teach the beach workout on the beach. And then I had meetings this morning. I had my coffee. I did my meditation. I've literally lived 3 lives before 10 a.m. And it was 10 o'clock. I'm like, wow, I'm exhausted. So I went into my bed. I turned everything off, all my notifications, do not disturb. And I did a mindfulness practice to put myself to sleep. I set my alarm for 12 minutes. And I woke up like it was tomorrow. And I was like, well, first I set my 3x5 card. So for those of you who don't know, I use 3x5 cards. I don't have scripts. When I speak, I have 3 bullets on here and that's it. And I speak from the heart because I'm aligned in what I want to share with you. So I knew I was mindful that I needed just a quick reset in my body and my brain. I had a quick snack. I hydrated. I have my 3x5 card and I'm like, all right, let's go. 2 minutes before. So I know that I work well under pressure. I don't like operating in that way, but I also know that I set myself up for success each and every day. So that when Rachel calls me and she's like, we have a speaking engagement. Can you be on this podcast? Yes, I'm ready. When Marcus calls me, when Araya says, can you be on my podcast? Yes, I'm ready. I'm always ready. And being in the military for the last 22 years, one of the things that we said was, you got to be fit to fight. You always have to be prepared for when the situation arises, when you're ready to rise up, when you're ready for that occasion, when you're ready to be put on the field. Literally, I'm always ready. And I've been hitting the bag, and I've been diligent every single day. Those of you who are following me on social media, people are like, Crystal, you're everywhere. And you have all this energy. How do you do it all? I would invite you to literally spend some time with me. I'm not that scary. I'm 4'11 3/4. Yes, I can pack a punch, but I'm going to do it with a smile and make you wonder what I'm up to. So if you're wondering what I'm up to and you want some of this energy, please tap in. Let's have a call. I'd love to help you navigate your stressors and pressures of life. But you have to start with clear goals and mindfulness, a routine, and your appropriate self-care of what you need so you can be fit to fight and ready to go for when situations arise, when you get that phone call. I'll tell you a quick story. The other day, I had a guy that was visiting Puerto Rico for a couple days. He was here for a training. And I worked with him in the military a couple years ago. And, we kind of fell off and, he's like, hey, I'm back in town. I'd love to meet up. And I had a 45-minute window. Now, I've never actually met this person in real life. We've kind of been on the phone. We did some work. We did some projects together. And for those of you who don't know, I'm a diversity and inclusion consultant. And I started implementing leadership development and courses in the military 7 years ago. And so him and I kind of worked together in some special projects. He's like, hey, I'm in town. I'm like, okay, I have 45 minutes for you. So I met him down the street. And he's like, oh, what's going on? What's happening? How's retirement? Because I retired after 22 years a month ago. He's like, how is it? Is it scary? Like, what's happening? And I started to list all the things that I've been working on and all the things that I've been growing as I have continued to move the last 5 times in 7 years, and working from a hotel room or a spare bedroom and getting scrappy and building all the things and doing all these summits and podcasting, getting on stages and teaching all these courses and hosting retreats and launching books, and now launching my podcast coming up. I have more books coming out. I'm in magazines. I'm being featured. And he's like, holy cow, when do you sleep? And then he's like, have you ever spoke at this particular conference? Now, this is a national conference for the military. Huge. And I was like, no. He's like, would you want to? And I'm like, yes. He's like, within 30 minutes of that meeting, he had me connected with the organizer. I was ready. I was ready for that. And because I had that conversation, I shared all the things where I'm like, 1-2 punch, 1-2 punch. Here's what I've been through. Here's what I'm working on. Here's what I'm here for. Here's what I'm ready for. Here's my intentions for this year. Here's who I want to meet. Here's who I want to greet. Here's who I'm here to serve. Here's my philanthropy work. Here's who I want to continue to work with female veterans. And I'm partnering with other organizations that are sponsoring female veterans to attend my retreats in Costa Rica and Puerto Rico at no cost. It is my life's mission to be able to offer this. It's incredible. But if I didn't show up and get a little bit uncomfortable and share and be vulnerable in my space to be able to share that, he presented me with an opportunity. And I'm meeting with the organizer this week. And I'm going to be on that stage. But it was because I was intentional and I was ready for it, because I've been doing the work. I've been putting in the work every single day, being everywhere, and also setting my intentions and getting clear on who I want to serve and why I'm put on this earth and what my unique gifts are, and surrounding myself with other people like Araya, like Rachel, like Marcus Black, like Marilyn, like Jessica, everyone here on the stage in Breakfast with Champions. It's made for you too. So you might not be on the stage right now, and you might not be a moderator. You might not be here, but it's worth it, and you can do it. You just have to make that clear intention and go after it every single day. So start your week with intention, start your day with intention, and map it out. I write down 10 things every single day that I'm working on, and I track my progress in each of those areas. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. If you're not following me over on YouTube, watch out. I'm trying to grow my Pinterest channel. All of my Pinterest, it's beautiful. I've had Pinterest coaches that for years that they're like, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like it. And that just warms my heart, because all I did was create a system where I'm like, okay, I'm going to post my challenges. I'm going to post my podcast interviews, all of my speeches. And it's an easy way for me to share links and a beautiful aesthetic of all of my photos, and to be able to inspire and engage with my audience and with my community in one spot. And guess what? I turn all of those into a blog. And I'm sharing this with you because this is the stressors and the pressures that I've been growing through over the last 7 years. And I'm like, how can I maximize all the things that I'm doing to create the momentum and the visibility and the preparedness where I'm omnipresent and people are like, okay, how can I be more efficient with all the things that I enjoy doing, such as creating retreats? So now I host incredible experiences. They're not vacations, it's vacation with a purpose, because I've been able to put all these things together. My love for fitness, personal development, fun, faith, community, accountability, support, and an experience. So I just figure out efficient ways to do it so I can put it all together, because we only have 1,440 minutes in a day, each and every one of us. So you might as well do the things that are going to set your soul on fire and figure out an efficient way to do it and get around other people that can help you do it. I know in the previous segment, I think, Marilyn, you were talking about the pit crew. I got my pit crew. Y'all, shout out to my dream team. I have 7 incredible women in my pit crew, my Cruise Beyond Limits dream team. And so each and every one of them, I've been able to recognize their strengths, their gifts, their unique talents. And I saw it a lot of times before they did, and they'll tell you this. But I helped them step into their true gifts and power and passion and to create more purpose and direction for their life. And we're able to put all this together. So everyone has a lane. I have multiple programs and different experiences. So I have a pit crew. So literally at any given time, I ask for help. And it takes trust. It takes accountability. It takes follow up. It takes follow through. It takes getting messy. But it also takes knowing what intentionally you want to work on and where you want to go in order to figure out, okay, how am I going to get there? How can I get there the fastest, most efficient way? And who else has, like Grant Cardone, he's like, who's got my money? Me, I'm like, who's got my talents? Who's got the talents? And who can I collaborate with? Who can I get around that is going to help make this rocket ship go? And I always say, in the Cruise Beyond Limits world, it is a rocket ship. Put your seatbelt on. It's a wild ride. And if you can't hear my passion and my purpose in my voice right now, there is nothing that is going to stop me. Not an illness, not spending 6 months in a wheelchair, not an identity crisis after the military, not cancer, not being broke and without a job for 6 months, and not the ultimate betrayal 7 months ago from my husband. Not moving away from everything I owned, everything I knew within 2 months' notice to give up my career for my husband. And then also to move here the week before Christmas with 10 suitcases. I got a system. I have a dream team. I've figured out a system, and it's a freedom formula to be able to keep going no matter what. And I have an incredible team that supports me. I have a circle of amazing people that have strengths and gifts and talents just like me. And I don't want replicas of me. I want people to step into their true power in their own special way. So I help uncover people's gifts, talents, purpose, passion by understanding your value set, your personality type, your communication style, and getting clear on the intentions and stepping into them. And yes, it's uncomfortable, but it's going to be more uncomfortable if you give up and if you quit. But it's the journey. Now, what's that going to take? Yes, we got to get clear. We have to have a morning routine. We got to have self-care. You got to rest and recover so you can rejuvenate and come back stronger. You have to take time off. It's worth it. And if you, and so many people are like, Crystal, I can't come to your retreat. There's no way I can take a week off. Yes, you can. I actually shout out to my good friend, Lynn. She just took a whole month off of her business. Her and her husband took a whole month and went to Costa Rica. And she's like, I never thought I could do it. She came to my retreat last October for female veterans. And hopefully she's going to come back. But she's like, I took that time for myself and I didn't think it was possible. The world isn't going to crumble, my friends. When it will crumble is when you don't set yourself up for success and you have the mindful practices and proper nutrition. So this is tip number 2. Proper nutrition is the foundation of everything. Your nutrition, your meals, your hydration, and your mindful eating practices to make sure that you're fueling your body properly each and every day. Your gut health and your hydration are the two, and your sleep are the biggest factors in your mental health. And I'll tell you, amidst all the things that I said, I'm unstoppable, unshakable, unbreakable, it's because I have a system of proper nutrition, a balanced. Yes, I eat pizza. Yes, I eat cupcakes. Yes, I eat cookies. Yes, I drink wine. But I do it mindfully, and I have a flexible, good relationship with food, healthy relationship. So it's not a fad diet. It's not a quick fix. It's not a magic pill. It's not an injection. It's you getting every single day a long-term lifestyle of your nutrition, recognizing what's going to fuel you forward, no matter what, no matter what. So when you're ready to join the no matter what club, I'm gonna challenge you, and if it doesn't challenge you, it's not going to change you. So if you're ready for a change, I need you to literally hit that button above. Book a call with me. I'd love to talk with you and see what this looks like for you. All right. Number 3, in order to maintain motivation, because it's not just going to appear, I want to give you the 3 things that I do to maintain my motivation when I got that 1-2 punch. I'm telling you, this last week has been 1-2 punch over and over again. And I'm an empath and an energy person. So when people around me are hurting, I'm hurting too. And so often there's other things that are happening in my personal life where I'm like, I can't even go to the people that are hurting because they can't always handle what I'm dealing with. And so it feels like a lonely journey. And so Crystal, how do you maintain that motivation? How do you get up and just work out? How do you keep going and keep growing through? And how do you push through? I'll tell you, here's what you do. You implement physical activity every single day. Every single day, no matter what. Crystal, don't you take time off? Yes, I do. Physical activity does not mean it has to be lifting weights for 3 hours at the gym. Physical activity is every single day for 30 minutes, no matter what. Sweat, get uncomfortable, put yourself under pressure. Because what's going to happen is you're going to feel so accomplished. You're going to feel like you're unstoppable. And you're going to do things that you never imagined because your brain is going to bully your body. And your brain will quit before your body's capable. Before your body will. Your body is capable of so much more. But our brain will quit. And it's going to draw a line. It's going to be a threshold. Those of you who don't know, I ran a 50-mile race before. I've run 26 marathons in a 50-mile race after the doctors told me I could never run again or be an athlete in the middle of my NFL career. And so my coach put me through a threshold test where I would have to run 30 miles on a Saturday. 30 miles, y'all. Some of you are like, I don't even drive 30 miles. Yes, I heard it all. It's possible. I had to run 30 miles on a Saturday, and then I would have to set myself up to run 32 miles on a Sunday. And I had to put myself through a threshold test to be able to maintain the same distance, the same pace for the 30 miles on a Saturday. And then on tired, exhausted legs in mind and body and spirit, soul, not spirit, because my spirit's always alive. Thank God. I don't know how I'd get through without my faith. But 32 miles on a Sunday and maintain that same pace. So I had to put myself in this pressure zone, in this pressure cooker for 62 miles on a weekend to be able to maintain that threshold. So when I teach, when I'm here, and I'm going to close the room here shortly, I want to take a couple questions and I'll close. But in order for me to maintain this pressure zone and to maintain this pressure cooker, I have to make sure that I pour into myself and my health. And this physical activity and putting myself in the pressure cooker, putting myself in sweating and drooling and dripping in crevices and like if you're not swearing at me during my workouts, then I'm doing something wrong. Because I want you to be in a pressure cooker so you can see what is possible for you in your life and what is made for your next level, your next chapter. And so you got to put yourself in the pressure cooker. This is no comfy cozyville. I don't want you in a comfy blanket. Change doesn't happen there. So put yourself into that pressure cooker to maintain the motivation, to continue to feel the exhaustion, and you keep going 1-2 punch and you get back up every single time. You give it one more punch. And I'll tell you, I'm hosting this retreat here next month at the end of July here in Puerto Rico. This is the last week to register. And I told my team, I said, listen, it's game time. This is Super Bowl season. It's retreat season. It's like, I know we're tired. I know we've been working hard, but we got to keep getting back up. It's 1-2 punch. It's game time, baby. It's not time to take the foot off the gas pedal. It's time to lean in. It's time to take one more punch, one more week. Let's do this. And I'm exhausted too. I'm ready to tap out too, but we can't, because the world needs you. The world needs that energy, that needs that accountability. It needs you to keep showing up no matter what. And so that physical activity will put yourself in a pressure cooker that you can take this energy into everything and everyone else that you impact in the world. And we did a Cruise Beyond Limits power pose this morning. And I said, I want you to walk into every threshold of every door frame today with this energy. And you can't argue with this energy. Try me. Let's have a conversation. I'd love to. Okay. So if you want to be challenged, if you want to manage your stress, then the stressors and pressures of life, prioritize your health, your physical well-being. And how do you manage your stress? Physical activity, getting it out of your brain. We all have spaghetti brain, anxiety, overwhelm, stressing, depression, all the things. Get it out of your brain by talking it through with a friend, getting around social circles. Those that sweat together, stick together. Reach out, get therapy, get coached, get mentored, book a call with me. I offer 15-minute acceleration calls. Get it out of your brain so you're not on this hamster wheel all the time. Some of y'all are on this hamster wheel and you keep telling yourself the same story over and over again. So when are you going to get sick and tired of being sick and tired? Reach out, ask for help. Quiet the noise and take action. That is going to breed more momentum. And then when you keep hitting that bag every single day, you just do the small things every day. One day you're going to wake up and you're like, oh, holy cow. I see the results of finally all of those seeds that I planted, all of those punches, all those times where I wanted to stop and I kept going. It's paying off. It's just like at the end of that tunnel, of that dirt road, that was the end, was a beautiful sunrise and the waves crashing up and so much peace. And as the sun is just gleaming on my face and I know that there's light at the end of the tunnel and it's like, that's a peace, that's a freedom. But you can't have that peace and freedom and that, I'm not a good singer anymore. I used to be a soloist in high school. No longer. Now I speak. And I'm a great backup dancer, by the way. I'm a professional dancer. So anyways, long story short, you want a backup dancer and you need a speaker, reach out to your girl, okay? But in the meantime, you can still have that. I sing in the shower. I have dance parties. And I love to make fitness fun and I come alive on camera. So you get all of me. But I want you to give you all of you so that you can have that feeling, that freedom, that alignment, that zest for life. But you got to keep going no matter what. So continuously lean into the discomfort. Lean in because yes, it's under pressure, but it's so worth it. Every single time it's worth it. Every single time. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. I want to answer any questions or take any reflections from anyone here in Clubhouse. Hey, Donnie, how's it going? Happy Monday.
Good. You used my last name, so I had to say something.
Yeah, what's your last name? Talk to me.
Zest.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah.
Zest for life. I'm going to add you back here. Let's see. We are connected, my friend. What's happening?
Who did you coach with in the NFL?
The Buffalo Bills.
You are awesome. I love hearing this. You've scared me a little bit.
Good. Sorry.
I know.
I love it. It's funny because everyone's like, oh my gosh, I don't know who you are. Like, what are you? And I used to shrink because of that. And now I'm like, yeah, I love scared people. So what resonated with you the most? What are you working on, Donnie?
Everything, because, stepping into my power is what this group has helped me do. And there's so many kind people and great coaches here. I just highly recommend it to anyone. So I just so appreciate you today. And I have 2 coaches on this platform in this group, and I have 1 mentor, and I'm always looking to add to that because it is accelerating my growth. And, it's hard dating as a single dad, and a lot of girls can't keep up. So, it's crazy to be single and striving. And I just so appreciate you and your story.
Thank you so much, Donnie. And you know what? I'm with you, because so many people are like, oh, I can't keep up. I can't follow you. I can't keep up. Well, then speed up.
Yeah, it's a problem for people because they think we can just be put into a box and say that this is all we can do. And, that's not true. Like, I'm on TV, I've done podcasting, I've done all this different stuff, and I'm not that old. And it's because I had no fear in my life. I appreciate it. I'm 4 years old. Like, my mom died before my first day of school, and I just didn't become a victim in it. I just used it to drive me.
We're having a hard time hearing you, Donnie. I'm not sure what's happening.
I'm sorry, I must be in the matrix
there we go.
bit.
We're better now.
I don't know what part you heard and didn't hear.
You were talking about your mom.
Yeah, like, my mom died before my first day of school, and it could be a story for me, or it could be something I overcome. And, I've overcome it.
So powerful. Thank you for sharing.
Well, this group is powerful, and I encourage anybody to join in every day. And I've made time for it myself, and it's a priority for me.
Oh, I love it. Well, let's definitely connect. I'd love to chat more, see how we can support you and all the things that you're working on.
Yeah, I'm so jealous of the coaching in the NFL. You're the best.
Oh, well, I didn't coach in the NFL. I cheered for the NFL.
Oh, okay. I thought you were with the Bills.
No, I cheered for the Bills. But if anybody needs a coach, I can coach for the NFL as well. So
awesome.
Thank you. Anyone else care to share?
Hey, Crystal Moore, I am so happy that I finally, at school, the kids are out, even though I'm still at work, but I don't have a classroom of kids. So when I tell you, I have been waiting to be able to tell you those 34 minutes, and your story goes far beyond Clubhouse. Like, it has impact. I asked myself when I actually had a surgery, and I had actually 2 procedures this spring, really knocked me off my feet. It's one thing when you have momentum, Crystal, but when you can no longer, and that your rhythm is interrupted, it can be very mentally and physically challenging to get yourself back into a routine. And I remembered you talking about your wheelchair. I was like, hold up, Wells, you ain't in a wheelchair. Crystal Laura says, she was in a wheelchair and she was able to get herself going again. You can get yourself going again. I don't care if it's 4 minutes at a time. You can do it. And I was like, what did she say? 34 minutes. If I ain't got 34 minutes, that means I ain't got a real life that has, targets that's measurable. But it was the 34 minutes. It was something that I knew I could get to throughout the day. I had to spread it out throughout the day, but it gave me a tangible, way in to bounce back after the surgery. So when I want to tell you thank you, and the 34 minutes really worked, because now I got that momentum back to the point. Yet Friday was the last day of school. And another teacher came up to me. She was like, I really didn't know who you were at this desk. She was like, I know you set intentions at the start of the year, but I really didn't know. I could see a huge difference in your body from December to now. And this is with me being knocked off my feet for almost 2 months, Crystal Laura. So I just wanted to tell you personally, sis, thank you. If anyone's doubting the 34 minutes, it absolutely works. Back to you.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. I am so, I love it. Thank you. That really means the world. I'll tell you, when I first was figuring out what my brand message was, I was actually in a speaking cohort. So I was learning to build my signature talk originally. And I was talking with this girl. She was in my accountability chat in my group. And I kept telling her, I was like, yeah, it's really just 34 minutes. We have 1,440 minutes in a day. And it's really 2% of your day. I did the calculation. It's 2% of your day is 34 minutes. And not only that, but only 2% of the population actually is disciplined enough to keep going no matter what, and dives into personal development. And so like, why does it, so it's about the 2%. And so she's like, holy cow. She's like, you need to work that 34-minute mindset more. She's like, because I kept saying it over and over again. It was just so simple. So then I just started stepping into it and sharing it. And so now I'm like, it's about the 2%, it's 34-minute mindset. And people are always like, 34 minutes, why 34? Well, let me tell you. And so for those of you who are starting your personal brand and starting your message to turn your mess into a message, and you're trying to have a platform and create your own stages and get out there and make impact in the world, figure out your unique strategy. Now that just kind of happened because I kept saying it over and over again, and it's just like, okay, hello, that's it, let's do it. And I think Marcus has a very similar story of how he got his, because you can, right? So that's it. Figure out what that is for you, and don't try to be like someone else. Be uniquely you. And so that just warms my heart that you were able to share that with me. It just means that they're always watching, they're always listening. And you and I have never been on a call before. And you never know when you keep showing up. I have chills all over my body right now, and I'm getting emotional because when you keep showing up, no matter what, you're going to impact someone's life, and you might be saving someone's life, and you might be getting them off the couch today. And if I do that for one person, then I've done my job. So thank you. That really means the world. Hey, Jessica.
Hey, Crystal, Lauren.
Hello, beautiful.
Hello.
How you doing?
I really needed to hear the topic of the room in general, but also the stepping into your pit crew parking spot. So it's great to hear. It's just the power of community, and the mindset piece is so powerful. When you're under pressure, it's incredibly challenging to think straight and keep your nervous system in check and all the things in check, to be like, okay, these are just circumstances. And we should be scaring people. We should be scaring people when we actually take ownership of who we are again and decide not to let things stop us and be the determining factor of how far we can go. Obviously, in the disability space or whatnot, even if it's temporary, the mindset piece is so critical with being seen and owning who you are. And something I want to tap into underneath some of the things you're saying about the pressure is we're not in competition with each other. Mm-hmm. Like in that sense where we're trying to one up and all that kind of stuff. Here, it's like, no, yeah, iron sharpens iron. Let's go. I'm better because you're better. We're better together, not in a weird competition way where it can get super aggressive and weird, and then you're jealous of someone succeeding ahead of you. So it's so important to keep that aspect in check when you're in this momentum, but keep it fun, friendly competition. And when you're healed, when your mind is just really anchored in that discipline, anchored in those daily habits that you structure so well. No one's perfect, but the repetition and the daily little nudges we can keep creating and tap into is just so powerful. So I want to thank you for continuing to be visible and what your intentions are with these, the pressure cooker you're in. And it'll be great. It'll be really great to see where to partner from here. Love you.
Oh, thank you so much, Jessica. I love that share. So beautiful. And it really is, our only competition is ourselves. And so often when I find myself in that space, if I came off the wrong way, TL, I'm sorry. But when I'm triggered and I start to compare myself to someone else, I check myself and I'm like, what am I not doing? What am I not doing that they're doing? And so how can I use that as fuel instead of saying, well, I'm not as good enough, or I'm not as good as them, or it's not possible for me. I use that as fuel and momentum to say, okay, how can I put this in my own way, my unique talents and my unique gifts to make sure that I'm tapping into my next level version of me, stronger than yesterday, and bloom. And I always say, bloom where you're planted. So like, don't try to be farther along than you are, but also try to be stronger than yesterday, and gather the tools and gather the coaching and the support and the education, and get around other people that are doing the things. And I always say, someone further along than you is not going to judge you. Just like everyone in my community, it's a judgment-free community. So what we're doing, we're here to show you what's possible, and standing up in your leadership, in your unique gifts and talents, aligned in your presence and your passion and your purpose, to show others what's possible, so we all rise up together. And we're able to hold your hand and meet you where you're at. And, you know, from wheelchair to, I have a client right now who literally has a horrible back injury. And she's like, I don't know if I can do your workouts. I'm like, what can you do right now with what you've got? And she almost tapped out. She almost quit. And I was able to say, okay, there's some things that you can do, and stay in that momentum, in the mindset, and then just do one thing smaller, stronger than yesterday. That's it. You might not be able to do all my workouts. I have 2 people that are literally have back injuries and are in wheelchairs and still do my workouts. So it's possible when you just, you against you, stronger than yesterday, no matter what. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Anybody else care to share?
Really quick, Crystal, before you move from that point, I think it's so important, though, that you've been vulnerable and open to us about your setbacks. I think because a lot of times people can't relate when they think like, oh, well, she was doing all this stuff and she's never gone through an injury. She's never had to bounce back. Like, starting versus coming back when you were already hot, it's like, it's almost like a mental, like, you know, arbitrage that happens. Girl. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's Crystal, it's just so, I had never heard anyone be as open and honest as you were when you talked about that wheelchair. And so that does give now the people that you are working with, because I'm telling you, it got pretty dark for me in March, Crystal, but I honestly listened to the replay again. Like, it was your words of talking about that wheelchair and your experience. And I was like, I can do this. Even if it's not what I used to be able to do, I can do something. You know what I mean? So thank you for that. I just really wanted you to know that impact of you sharing your story really makes a difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That really means the world. Who else would care to share? Anybody on stage here?
The final to that is, it's a comeback season. And a lot of the work we've been doing is going to start showing up in this new month. And that's the power of being in community and consistency here. And the importance of vulnerability when you are struggling. You don't have to struggle alone. I know you also talk about this, Crystal, that it's much easier to isolate because you don't want to feel like you're a burden with the things you're struggling with or need support with. And it's just not true. There's so many people that would love that love us and are in support of what we're doing. And if they knew those mental gymnastics Chris was talking about, and surviving through that, and and even the courage to try again, that's what I want to tap into and contribute in these final minutes here, is leaning into that courage. Your capacity can grow more than your brain is trying to protect you from, because your vision and purpose for your life needs to be more powerful than your circumstances. And you are a living, breathing, beautiful testimony of that.
Thank you. Oh gosh, it's tough, right? And so one last thing I think I want to share too, when it comes to community, there isn't always one catch-all person for you, right? So I think, Donnie, you mentioned you have a couple coaches, and some of them are here that you found in Clubhouse, right? So you don't go to that one person. So a lot of times, many mistakes people have is you have that best friend, or you have your spouse, or, you know, your aunt or your cousin that you go to for everything, and they're like your landing pad, right? And so I highly encourage you to diversify your network, so that you know where to go and who to go to and who to turn to for certain areas of your life. I wouldn't go to, I love my mom, and my mom's my best friend, and she is an incredible woman, and she is the closest thing to the catch-all for everything, right? However, she has not started her own business. She's been running a business for over 30 years, right? But she's not started her own business yet, right? And so she is a very great supporter, and she's on my team, and she is like the best thing, but she's really close to me, right? So I need to find other people that are going to tell me the good, bad, and the ugly and see potential in me, like the Marcus Black, like Araya, like Rachel, right? And other people that are in business that are further along than me, that are going to be able to show me what's possible and help me rise to the occasion and go after my dreams and goals. Because my mom's never started a podcast before. The people in my circle, when I first launched my book, I didn't have many people. I had a handful of people that had written a book before. And I'm like, okay, how the heck am I going to do this? I have this big dream. I wanted to host a retreat. No one in my inner circle at that time hosted a retreat. So I had to be intentional with the people and the places and spaces I went into to be able to find other people, to be able to go to get mentored, to get coached, to take their courses, to learn, subscribe to their newsletters, get in close proximity to the people that are doing the things that I want to do. And so I have multiple people now, which is so beautiful, right? For someone that's like the catch-all be-all, I know I'm pretty close to that too, but I'm not an expert in everything. I try to have a holistic approach to your wellness and your wealth, your health and your health. So figure out who you need so that if you have your Fab Five, and this is what I train in my programs too, figure out your Fab Five. Who's your inner circle? That you don't need 5,000 friends. Facebook limits your friend count to 5,000, right? You don't need 5,000 friends. You need your Fab Five. Who are you going to go to for life, fitness, business, faith, and fun? Okay, so figure out your Fab Five. Who are those people? And they don't have to be just one. And if you're that one catch-all be-all for someone else, now it's time to set some healthy boundaries and be like, sounds like you need a therapist. Sounds like you need a business coach. Sounds like you need to hire Crystal for your fitness coach. Sounds like you need to go on her retreat. So this is your bounce back season, comeback season. Figure out who your Fab Five is. And don't be the five for everyone. Okay, love you all. Who else do you want to share? Anything else? Trisha?
Yeah. I just love this because I'm just thinking, like, if I could look at everybody's bio on this stage right now, I guarantee you there's something in everybody's bio that I could connect with. There's something different about each person here that I could use and I could connect with, and I could just like put in my pocket that they could bring special to me. And it's just amazing. I just think about the things that I've connected with each person that I've talked to here on this stage and the power that they've brought to me. And you're just tapping on so many things, and it's just so amazing. I love your story. Like Health said, like Shantae said, it's just amazing how you're so transparent and you bring it so to life for everybody. So thank you so much for everything you've shared today. I love the fact that you say you use 3x5 cards and you just put a couple of bullets on them, because it just brings back, everything, your honest, true self. Thank you so much for what you shared today. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate your...
There you go.
Yep.
Hey, Crystal, sorry, it's Chima. I sent a connection thing. I got a reply for 4 o'clock tomorrow. So hope that's cool, because there's a lot of this you said today that just resonated. So I just hope we can have that call tomorrow.
Awesome. Yes, I live and die by my calendar. So if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't happen. Just like Instagram, no pic didn't happen, right? So put it out there. I can't wait to connect with you.
Yes, I think it came through as because I'm in the UK. So I put it as the time for the UK. I think it just converts the timing. So It's 4 o'clock in the UK.
Okay, I will check my schedule as soon as we're done, and I'll reach out to you if there's any issues, but looking forward to connecting and chatting. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else care to share before we close the room? I love ending Monday motivation here in Clubhouse. It's like I could talk for hours, but I want to make sure I give anybody else the stage.
You end it so powerfully.
Thank you. Thank you. I love it. Anyone else? All right. Well, happy Monday. Go out, make it a great day. Okay, just keep showing up no matter what. Put yourself in the pressure cooker. If you're feeling
What? I was running to the microphone. This was a great job. You're amazing. I've listened to all of this. I walked away from my microphone for 30 seconds, and I want to make sure I got back in here to say, wow, I love the 37 minutes. I love everything you're talking about. Keeping it, simple and tapping into people who are where you want to be, like yourself. Can't wait to go to Puerto Rico and see you, my friend. I want to get that on my agenda. You are amazing, and I adore you.
Thank you so much, Araya. Oh, you bring such a warm sunshine to this room every single day. Thank you so much for all that you do, too, to pour into others and highlight people and their strength. And so if you're not
following... get you back on the podcast. Well, come back on the show.
Oh, we definitely need. I got a lot of updates for you, my friend.
Yeah. Molly Dare's coming on today. If you remember Molly Dare.
Oh, awesome. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
Yes. Yeah, let's definitely connect. Thank you. All right. So let's go make it a great day. I'll see you next week, same time, same awesome station, every day with Breakfast with Champions. So I love you all. Reach out for support if you need help. If you're feeling the pressure cooker, just send me a message. Let's just chat. Let's figure it out. We're all trying to navigate this thing called life. And guess what? No one's perfect and no one has it really all figured out. We just work together and we keep showing up no matter what. Like our life depends on it because it does. So have a great rest of your day, everyone. Cheers.